I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We now get the opportunity on page 12 to try writing some notes for ourselves, and so this is where it's really important that you have a sharp pencil. Always write in pencil. I use the mechanical pencil just so I know it's going to stay sharp, but as long as you've got a sharp pencil, it's good to have a relatively soft pencil as well, because if you're going to rub out and you've got a hard pencil, you're going to have indentations on your page, and so it's not going to erase properly. And so a 2B pencil is usually a good idea, but keeping it nice and sharp, and then have a good eraser to hand, because it does take a little bit of practice just getting your notation neat, but it's very, very well worth the effort, and it's a really satisfying endeavour, I think, just sitting drawing notes. I would just grab a piece of manuscript paper and just have a go at just writing lots of notes. It's certainly therapeutic, I think. And so we're going to rewrite these notes, but we're going to rewrite them correctly, bearing in mind how the stem should fall, and then we'll name the notes to just finish the exercise and do a little bit of revision on our clefs and pitch names. So here, this note is on the third space, so we start off by drawing the note. Now I suggest, let's just get a piece of paper and just think about this for a moment. What you don't do is do a big round Mickey Mouse ears circle and then colour it in. It just ends up way too chunky and not neat at all. I tend to sort of start in the general vicinity and sort of circle outwards, and actually I'm going at a slight angle. Just makes it a little bit neater, a little bit oblique as it were, and then let go your pencil. Don't do your note head and your stem in one go. So let's go in the middle, and then it doesn't matter which way the stem goes. When you're placing a note on a line, the line must go through the centre of the note head. When you're on a space, it must just fill the space but not overlap, because again, we're writing music so that it's easy to read, and if I was to write a note on a space and then just sort of go over, it looks a bit unclear which note I mean. And if I was to write and just sort of go a bit off centre a bit, it's which note, so they just don't work. And then if you do your note head and then let go, and then do your stem from top to bottom. And although we're perhaps using a soft sketching pencil, don't do a sort of a sketchy, it's just literally just a one line. Because if you do the note head and then do that, sometimes you're likely to go off at weird angles, depending upon your writing position. So do separate note head, stem. So let's have a go at that on here now. So let's see what needs to be sorted. So we've got the note head on the third space. Just placing that neatly. Now it's above the middle line, and so the stem should come down on the left. And you could use a ruler if you like. By all means, you can just use a ruler until you feel quite sure about it. And the length of the stem is perhaps about 3 line positions worth, as it were. So it doesn't have to be utterly precise, but not too long, not too short, 'cause, too long or too short. I know that's in the wrong place, but just showing, you know, you're going to be thinking your pitch is moving when it isn't. Let's get rid of that. We'll name the notes afterwards. Let's just first of all concentrate on getting them written correctly. So let's get the placement sorted. One thing at a time, keep our brains nice and clear. So we need the note head now on the second line. And then because this is below the middle line, the stem goes up. However, when we are writing it, we're going to start at the top and come down so we don't go off at a strange angle. So there, on the right hand side like a letter D. Now then, we're not colouring this note in. These are crotchets, if you remember from the previous section. They are 1-beat notes. Now we've got a minim, so we don't colour this in. And so I still keep my note head a little bit sort of oblique. I don't do a big sort of Mickey Mouse ears round circle. Now in print, they've got lovely italicised little sections. We don't need to worry about that, so don't worry about that. Just a humble pencil will do a plain old circly space, and that will do. Now because it's above the middle line, the stem should come down on the left. And again, it's sort of about three lines-ish. And now we've got the second line. And then because it's below the middle line, the stem should go up on the right. But of course, as we're writing it, we're going to go from top to bottom just to place it neatly. And now we can perhaps think about naming these notes. So this is the treble clef, and if you remember from the treble clef, the space is spelled face, F-A-C. This is a bass clef note, and the bass clef notes are good boys, so that's a B. Back into the treble, space is spelled face, F-A-C-E. Always using capitals. And then we've got another bass note B, same note again. There we go. Now then, we've dealt with pitch, and we're just having a little look at rhythm again here, because we've got quavers, which are half of a crotchet beat, half a beat each. So if I just refresh your memory, actually let's use a piece of plain paper, we don't need manuscript. So just to refresh your memory, we have the semibreve, which is worth 4 beats, which breaks into 2 minims, 2 beats is 4. It breaks down again into crotchets. These are the classical terms, and the American or the rock speak is also helpful because that would be known as the whole note, and that divides into half notes or quarter notes. So semibreve, minim, crotchet, whole note, half note, quarter note. And if we divide again, we get eighth notes. These are quavers, and these are half a beat because a half plus a half makes a beat. We can join these tails together when we're in groups, so it's as if you join these little tails together, or we could even join 4 tails together. So they are quavers, half of a beat each. And so we've still got the same rules of stems, but now we have a little kick on the side, like a little tail, and regardless of which way the stem is, the kick is always going to the right. So although on exercise 9, this one here, the stem is correct, the tail is at the wrong side because the tail should be there. So that is incorrect. So have a little look and see what you think of these next few. So have a little try and then we'll check them through together. And so here, these are correct. The stems are going down on the correct side and they're joined correctly, so that is okay. These are joined correctly, but the stems are going down when they should be going up because they are below the middle line, and then we would beam them this way. So that is incorrect. And this one is correct. It's below the middle line, so the stem goes up and the little tail is on the correct side. So that's that. And now for this final little exercise, we've got a little opportunity to write all of the notes and spaces that we've learned so far, and then naming all of the notes in the treble and the bass clef. So we can use all sorts of different time values just to kind of mix and match it. So there's all sorts of opportunities here. So let's start. I think I'll start in the bass clef. You can do this however you like, really. You could do all the lines first, all the spaces first, or you could go in step. I think I'll go in step and I'll do a mixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the note heads first. I think it's much easier to deal with one thing at a time, so I'm going to get the note heads neatly done first, and then I'll worry about stems after that. So we'll have some coloured in, and then they can be either crotchets or quavers. Let's have that one not coloured in. Have some coloured in again. Let's not. I'm just sort of making it up as I go along. Anything goes, really. Let's we've done all the way from B, C, and we did actually do D, didn't we? I'm stretching out a bit, I'm going to be running out of space. And then we've got the treble clef. I'll have to squish this up a little bit now. So let's start on middle C. So we're picking up, that is exactly the same note written in a different clef. And then let's colour some note heads in. We perhaps won't colour those. Just anything goes, really. Just about made it there. So let's decide upon stems and so on. So we'll have some crotchets, so the stems go up on the right. That can be a minim. And then these will still be going up. I'm going to make these into quavers. Now notice, as I'm beaming those, as the notes go up slightly, there's a diagonal slant to the beam, so that I'm still showing that the notes are going up. Because if I didn't, let me just, it's difficult to see, or if you did it going down, that's even more confusing, so that would be incorrect, wouldn't it? So let's now, the stem could go either way here, so let's just use this as an opportunity to change, stem down. It could go up, middle line. So now stems must come down. Let's not put a stem on this one. This can be a semi-breve. We'll have this one as a minim. And we'll have some quavers again. So again, showing the direction in the beam as well as the note heads, because the stems should be about the same size. And now jumping to the treble clef, I think I'll start off with a semi-breve and then we'll go quavers. Let's have some quavers. Again, anything goes, just as long as you've got your stems correctly drawn. We'll have a minim, and then we'll have a semi-breve. Let's have a crotchet. So again, we've got the opportunity, the stem could go either way. Let's change down, but you could have the stem going up there. We won't have a stem for this one. Let's have a semi-breve, then we'll have some quavers. Again, by all means, do use a ruler if you feel that you need to. Anything to keep it nice and neat. Stem, and let's finish on a semi-breve. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.